Leo, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for September 5th through the 11th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Leo, this week we have a sort of split week here in the astrology in terms of the collectively easy aspects taking place the first half of the week, which is the also the crescent phase of the lunar cycle, which was a solar eclipse, so the solar eclipse cycle, making it a supportive time for trying new things. And then as we go into the weekend, we do enter into the first quarter phase of that cycle, which is more about challenging ourselves, and we do have some collectively challenging aspects, which I'll talk about, looking at particularly the Saturn squaring Neptune that's been going on since November. So this week, first half, definitely great for trying new things. It's all about this whole life path shift that has happened for you since the eclipse in your sign last week. So new beginnings with yourself, new beginnings with your independence, with the things that you want in life, pursuing your desires, your needs, fulfilling your needs. You know, this is what the first house symbolizes, and it's an excellent time to now move things forward that have to do with your goals, taking action, and pursuing a bit more of that independence in your life. So with that, the sun, your ruler, is actually going to be trined by Pluto this first half of the week, which is great. You could be feeling quite powerful to make change, maybe expressing yourself quite powerfully, in fact. Very good there for basically changing any old patterns and making way for some new things, right? Pluto is about past and future, right? It's about removing the old, allowing the old to go in order to make space for the new. And I think there's a tremendous power to do that, which can be very good to work with here around Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, Venus is sextiling up to Saturn from that second house of yours, so this is emphasizing that it is still a great time for you to be cultivating your material values at the moment, your even inner values, like your inner resources, your sense of self-worth, your self-reliance, your self-esteem, you know, your perspective of your ability to go out and pursue the things you value in life and the things you enjoy. And on an external level, it might have to do with finances, right? It's a good time to be seeing those potentials and opportunities there and saving, you know, with Jupiter, because sometimes with Jupiter, we may just feel inspired or things might come easy, but they can also go just as easily, right? The money can go just as easy as it comes in. So it's good to have that disciplined approach, saving, and again, building that material security, which is certainly being highlighted for you. And you do have some positive energy with that this early part of the week, particularly with patience and discipline, which can be an opportunity for you there to cultivate these values of yours. Also, too, a good first half for the career stuff. Venus does rule your 10th. Maybe also go with the communications also. So as we go into the weekend, or as we approach it, we're going to feel more and more of the Saturn squaring up to Neptune. And so this has been that uncertainty and doubt that I've been talking about since November, collectively speaking. Neptune is the planet of living in the present moment, but it's difficult, you know, for us to do this with these kinds of aspects that we want to figure things out. We want to understand what's going on in the future and with these things we're building in life. But the more the mind tries to figure it out, the more confusing it gets. And so the key with Neptune is to be as present as we can, as accepting as we can for how things are unfolding. Now, this is the last aspect, so it's final culmination, and we've already been acclimated to this energy for quite some time, so it's nothing new. All right, it's about implementing these final energies, if you will, relating to presence. So a lot of this is about relationships for you, because you've got Neptune and the South Node in the 7th house, helping you release old patterns that have to do with relationships that may be unhealthy, or maybe to an extreme, or they're just some old things that need to be let go of. And so the more open you are to that, the better. Also making sure that there's, you know, things are staying nice and grounded with your relationships. You know, making sure there's not any ideals or imaginations or illusory things that the mind might be creating about relationships. Again, presence in those relationships truly is the key. And through that, there can be a tremendous amount of acceptance, compassion, understanding, and all of that more beneficial stuff that Neptune provides with relationships. All right, so in that context, Saturn's been in your fourth house, helping you build your foundations in life. This can be with your home, your location for some of you, family related things. Others, your health. This is a good time to take this stuff seriously with Saturn here and for the next couple years. So with this aspect, though, it's about this patience, persistence here, make sure things are built for the long term, even though you could have some energy and motivation to pursue some of these fourth house matters with Mars here. With this square, I think it's important to stay present and again, live in that present moment while still building things forward. All right, Saturn is about taking one step at a time, but with Neptune in presence, right, with acceptance for things how they are. And seeing things for how they are too, which can be both in the relationship sphere and in those roots of yours also. So with that being said, this is all part of the eclipse. As you can see here, it's part of this T-square that's been off and on. And so there's a lot of, as you do this, as you ground yourself here with your foundations, and also as you work on your relationship perspectives, if you will, it's all this fuel and this constructive energy towards these new beginnings, which again are for you to focus on your independence, your drives, the things you want, and fulfilling those needs. Happy birthday, by the way, for those of you watching for your sun signs who have your birthdays this week. All right, so that's that T-square, right? So we also do have over the weekend Venus squaring up to Pluto. So when it does come to those values, I think over the weekend, extra attention to them, whether it's the finances, the resources, that kind of a thing, and also the career. We're talking about the first half of the week is good for that, supportive, but towards the weekend, a square from Pluto, it's good to bring extra attention here. See if there's any old patterns that you can let go of relating to finances, relating to your career, and also relating to communication as well. And in that way, it does become very constructive. I also want to mention, too, that Mercury is going retrograde back into your sign. So there's a lot to learn going into next week from this weekend about yourself and self-awareness. So it's great to try new things, be adaptive. Even though there's a lot of positive energy moving forward, it's good to just have that open mind to see what you can learn about it. And that's really what the North Node's about anyways. It's about a willingness to learn. So the more open you are to learning about matters like independence, learning more about yourself, your self-awareness, your identity, if you will, and these personal needs of yours, then great, because that's what the North Node is. That's what Mercury's all about in retrograde, and extra attention too with the things you might be pursuing, right? Because Mercury, when retrograde, tends to put us in a sort of autopilot. So from this weekend onward, just bringing extra attention to the self. Make sure we cross those T's, dot those I's with Mercury retrograde in your first. All right, so Leos, that's this week in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you all next week.